Number 7. The assignment, underground caves in southeastern United States.
I live where I grew up, which is the Cumberland Plateau of Tennessee, and the area is full of caves. So as a young man, my friends and I would tromp around in the woods and find caves and go into them because it was the most incredible, adventurous thing you could do. You could go somewhere no one's ever been before. What a great thing. And for some reason, I kept doing it.
This assignment takes them to the underground system known as TAG, where caves lie beneath Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia in the U.S. Alvarez doesn't just randomly search for caves, but uses a method called ridge walking.
The Cumberland Plateau is capped with sandstone. Water comes off that sandstone and hits limestone layers below it. And what we do as cavers is we walk these layers of harder rock that create these big benches here. And what we're looking for is a place where water comes through this hard rock and hits a softer layer of limestone below. And this is where we find the big cave.
Autograph time?
It sure is. When you get a chance.
Preparing to explore caves in Tennessee, a crew of 8 cavers pack the tools Alvarez will need to splash light on the underworld.
I'm drawn to these stories by that sense of wonder and exploration that you find underground, of going somewhere that no one's ever been before. And as a photographer, going there and being able to make a photograph of it and bring it back to the rest of the world. Most of us can't go to these places. Either they're too hard to get to or we don't have time. No one likes to go through tight squeezes to get to something beautiful. Most caves are not very big. And when you're in them, you have a real feeling, sort of a feeling of claustrophobia, because you're in the darkness and maybe you're squeezing through a little passage and it's very scary. But I can go there as a photographer and make an image and bring that back. And that's the most incredible gift to me, is that I can communicate the beauty of the underground world to people who can't go there.
Our cameras are rolling on the exact moment Alvarez captures this top 10 photo.
Stephen Alvarez takes his camera and his life into places I don't want to go. Look at this photograph. You've got this caver, can barely get his nose and mouth out of the water. I don't want to be there. And this is unusual because so often I'll see a picture in National Geographic magazine and I'll think, boy, I wish I was there. I wish I could be there. But I look at this picture and I think, thank goodness I don't have to go there and do that. And Stephen has brought technical skills and expertise to it like no one who's been in caves before.
It requires going back to the early days of photography and think about, well, how did people light things when they didn't have electronic flashes? Oh, they'd use magnesium filaments or they'd use flash powders. Well, I could go back to the early days and take this technology and carry it forward and use the most expensive digital camera made, but also a lighting technique from the 1880s. The best moment is right before the flash powder goes off. Everyone's lights are off, and we're all standing there in complete blackness. And I open the cameras up, and I'm using 2 cameras to make sure I get the frame. I'll go on over there. I'm going to have Luke fire up this light so I can frame the picture. Paul, would you go down to your flash position, please?
You want me down to the ledge?
Yeah, go down to the ledge and bring the hot light with you as well. And I open them up and I say, fire, and there's this explosion.
Fire!
It's loud, it's very, very visceral. You can feel it in your chest. It's a great kind of photography, because usually you make a picture and it's just a little click, but this time we make a picture and it's wham! Everyone breaks out in applause.
I chose this photograph. This is the one that says courage, risk, intensity, and this thirst to explore. A National Geographic photographer is a person with an intense curiosity, who exhibits a high degree of patience, who's persistent, who is never quite satisfied, never quite willing to turn away and say, I've got it.
Number 6, The Assignment, the changing face of Islam in Indonesia.
Jim Nachtwey came to us with an idea. He wanted to go to Indonesia and photograph a country that is the largest Muslim population of any nation in the world.
Through most of my career, I've concentrated on conflicts and critical social issues. It's taken me to many wars all over the world, beginning in 1981, virtually every continent, many, many wars in contemporary history.
His photography covers not only war, but worldwide social conflict, which is what he explores in Indonesia.
So it's a kind of sleeping giant. It's traditionally been a very tolerant society. It has accepted secular practices, has accepted other religions and other cultures. And in recent years, there's been a strain of fundamentalism that's come into Indonesia and even radicalism and violence. So it's very important to understand what Indonesia really is. And I think in doing this story, we were trying to enlighten people about the unique nature of Indonesia. It is a very powerful geographic and demographic force in Southeast Asia.
We have no political agenda. We want to be the place you come for trusted information that will help cut away the bureaucracy and agendas and all the things that can happen to us when we're trying to get to the bottom of something.
Nachtwey's story covers the many faces of Islam here, but his top 10 image depicts devout Muslims who do not condone violence.
Jim Nachtwey's picture from Indonesia is haunting. It's mysterious, yet the form is beautiful.
On Sulawesi, at a commune called An Nadzir, Nachtwey finds a very devout approach to Islam.
This is at the feast of Eid al-Adha, which is the day of sacrifice. I made this picture on the borderline between childhood and womanhood. The women are all covered in full chador. The child is still uncovered except for her head. You can see her face, you can see her identity, her personality. She's got a kind of innocence and playfulness to her. You can see her moving her arms almost as if she's flying. And what she faces in her future is what we see behind her.
This is another one of those photographs that goes from powerful photojournalism to art. This is a photograph that connects me, even though there's this mystery of who those people are behind the veil, connects me with my fellow man.
As a journalist, my goal is always to create awareness and understanding. Because Indonesia is such a large force in the world, I think there are, a lot of people in this world who put their life at risk for something they believe in. The higher cause of journalism is to serve humanity. The change cannot happen until we identify what's wrong. I believe journalism is a service industry, and the service we provide is awareness.